So, you know that AI gold rush we've all been watching? Well, what if I told you it's kind of over? Today, we are diving deep into the latest report from Andreessen Horowitz on the top 100 consumer AI apps. And let me tell you, it gives us a fascinating peek at who's winning, who's fading, and what's just around the corner.
I want to start with just one number, 11. That's it. What do you think that means right now in the world of AI? Go on, take a guess. Let's find out what's really going on.
Okay, so that number, 11, that's how many new companies actually managed to break into the top 100 this time around. But here's the kicker. Last time, that number was 17. That drop, that's the single biggest takeaway from the report. It tells us the whole AI ecosystem is starting to, well, settle down. And that brings us right to our first big idea. The initial, chaotic, Wild West phase of generative AI, it's fading out. The dust is settling, and now we're starting to see which companies actually have real staying power. So who are they?
And, there's no better place to see this than in the absolute battle royale happening between the big AI assistants. This is where the titans of tech are really going head-to-head, and wow, is it getting intense. Okay, so if we look at the web, ChatGPT is still, without a doubt, the king of the castle. I mean, just look at this. Google's Gemini, it's way back in second, pulling in only about 12% of ChatGPT's traffic. That's a huge lead, but, and this is a big but, that's only half the picture.
Because when you switch over to mobile, things get way more interesting. The race gets so much closer. Gemini really closes that gap, snagging almost half of ChatGPT's active users. And it really shows you where their strength is, right? That deep, native integration into Android.
But hold on, there's a new player making a ridiculously dramatic entrance. We're talking about X's assistant, Grok. This thing went from literally not having a mobile app at the end of 2024 to just skyrocketing past 20 million active users today. It's crazy. And that explosive growth? It was kicked off by the release of their super powerful Grok 4 model. And then boom, just a few days later, they launched these AI companion avatars.
All right, so while the giants are slugging it out in the West, there's a completely different AI revolution brewing in the East. To really understand the whole picture, you have to look at the massive and honestly often misunderstood story that's unfolding in China. Developers in China are playing this brilliant two-front game. First, they completely dominate their own gigantic home market with apps like Quark and Doubo, mostly because, Western competitors are blocked. But then, for their second move, they've turned into this global app factory, just pumping out a ton of AI tools for the rest of us.
And the result of that strategy is, well, it's just mind-blowing. Take a look at this. 44%, nearly half of the top 50 mobile AI apps in the entire world were developed in China. This isn't just some little trend, it's a huge force in the global market, especially in things like photo and video editing. And honestly, it doesn't look like it's slowing down at all.
Okay, let's switch gears completely and talk about one of the most surprising and coolest trends from the report. It's this thing called vibe coding, and it's totally changing the game for who can actually build stuff with AI.
So, what on earth is it? Basically, vibe coding means you're building apps not with complicated lines of code, but with simple, natural language. Like you're just talking to it. Imagine typing, "Hey, build me an app that tells me what to cook based on what's in my fridge," and the AI just does it. It's all about making creation accessible to everyone. And if you're thinking, oh, that sounds like a cute little fad, just look at this number, over 100% revenue retention for the top vibe coding platforms. What that means is they're not just keeping their customers are actually spending more money over time. This is a super sticky, super valuable business model. It's here to stay.
So, okay, we've seen the market is stabilizing, we've seen the fierce competition, the new trends. Let's wrap this all up by taking a look at the companies that have really proven they have staying power. Let's meet the AI all-stars.
Think about this. Over 2.5 years, and across 5 different versions of this report, only 14 companies have shown up in the Web Top 50 every single time. These are the true OGs of the AI boom. And here's a peek at some of these incredible survivors. It's such a fascinating group, right? You've got the one everyone knows, ChatGPT. You've got the creative powerhouse, Midjourney, the pioneers of voice at 11 Labs over in the UK, and even folks like Cutout Pro from China, who are experts in image editing. It just shows all the different ways we're using AI. So what's their secret sauce? What's the magic formula for success? Well, the surprising answer is there isn't one.
Some, like OpenAI, built their own massive models from scratch. Others build amazing products just using someone else's tech through an API. Most of them raised a ton of venture capital. But then you have a few, like the legendary Midjourney, who bootstrapped the whole thing and still became a monster success. It really proves that success in AI is not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal.
And that really brings us to the final question here. As this whole AI market starts to mature, we can see who the champs are today. But this world changes so fast, so the real question is, when you look at all these trends and all the new players on the field, who from today's top 100 is going to have what it takes to be the all-stars of tomorrow?